I just found out my boyfriend is not who I thought he was. He's been cheating on me for a very long time, and I found out about it when he was away from the house. So I decided to do something a little drastic. Some people might say I went too far even. Let me tell you about the day I call the nightmare. I can't believe this is happening. Jeremiah and I have been together for over 5 years. We met in college and I thought that he was the one. We moved in together 2 years ago into the nice house that he inherited from his grandparents. Last week, things started to feel off. He was guarding his phone more distant when we were together and just seemed to be hiding something. My gut was telling me something was wrong, but I ignored the red flag. Yesterday morning, while he was in the shower, his phone buzzed with a new message, and I shouldn't have looked, but I picked it up and saw it was from Britany, with a heart emoji. The preview said, "Last night was amazing, I can't stop thinking of you, babe." My heart dropped with shaky hands. I unlocked his phone since, I know the passcode. Idiot uses his birthday for everything. And then opened up his messages. He'd been messaging this Britany for months, telling her how much he loved her and making plans to meet up. But that's not all. He's had messages going back years, and I mean years, with various girls. I felt sick to my stomach. I opened up his photo album and it was filled with nude photos of him with other women. He had an entire hidden folder of escorts that he hired. I'm talking hundreds of conversations. They showed that he's been living a double life this whole time. I sat there in disbelief, tears streaming down my face. The man I thought I would marry, have kids with, and build a life with has been cheating on me for years, laughing behind my back and betraying me in the worst way possible. When he got out of the shower, I confronted him right away. He tried to deny it at first, but eventually broke down and admitted everything. He said he loved me, but just needed more. He didn't think that I would find out, so I kicked him out of the house and told him that we are done. But now I'm here, alone in this big house we were supposed to share, wondering what's next, and yes, I feel so lost. I feel hurt. I feel angry. My family is supporting me, but they're furious, especially my father. He threatened to come, quote, take care of Jeremiah, as he put it. I had to convince him not to do anything of that sort, but inside I'm seething. Jeremiah keeps calling me, begging me to take him back. He said he's made a real mistake and he will change. But how can I ever trust him again after he lied to my face for years? I feel so stupid. I feel so naive. I'm usually an easygoing person, but this betrayal has awoken something inside me. I want Jeremiah to truly understand the damage that he's caused. I'm not normally the vengeful type, but maybe it would give me some peace of mind if he knew what it felt like to be sabotaged and betrayed. I'd love to hear any advice on how to handle the situation. I'm so lost right now. My whole world has been turned upside down, and I thought Jeremiah was my soulmate. But turns out I never really knew him at all. Any words of wisdom would be really helpful right now. Should I just move on, or is a little revenge warranted here? Let me know your thoughts. I will provide an update soon on what ends up happening. What's up, everybody? So today's story is a very, very juicy one, and I'm not talking about the cheating part. Oh no, I'm talking about the revenge part, because the next few updates is going to be one of the most meticulously organized revenge you have seen on the channel. But first, let's check out a couple of comments. Comment number 1 says this, "Look, I know you're hurt, but revenge is not the answer here. I know it's tempting to want to lash out, but that road will only lead to more pain. The healthiest thing to do is walk away from grace. You built a life with this man, and those 5 years meant something. Even if he betrayed your trust, don't let his actions destroy your spirit. You're better than that. Channel that anger into taking care of yourself, not plotting destruction." Comment number 2. "Sister, you have everything you need. Go for it. You have the right for revenge of this betrayal. Don't let anyone shame you into silence. What Jeremiah did was despicable. He deserves a consequence if you ask me.
Too often, cheaters get away with it while we're expected to just take the high road. No, he stomped on your heart. A little petty revenge is more than warranted. You got me interested. Update number 1. Uncovering the depth of the betrayal. Thank you for the outpouring support and advice on my last post. I'm blown away by this community, I really am. Your words have brought me comfort during the darkest time of my life right now. And after reading comments, I decided I needed to know the full truth about Jeremiah's cheating. It's time to rip off the Band-Aid. On Wednesday morning, when I knew that he would be at work, I logged into his laptop and I started to dig. What I found made me sick to my stomach. Turns out Jeremiah has a secret account on Snapchat. Not just one, not just two, but many. Where he was interacting with various OnlyFans models. Yeah, right? He was paying these women hundreds of dollars for personalized videos and photos? Ugh, I felt so stupid thinking about all the times he complained that we were strapped for cash or couldn't afford something I wanted, yet here he was dropping thousands to feed his virtual addiction to online women. The money wasn't all he spent. He was lavishing them with emotional intimacy too. Depleting me of it while telling them that they were perfect, and he could not stop thinking about them, and meanwhile I was begging for a scrap of his attention. I know I shouldn't have been, but I watched some of the videos too. They were everything you can imagine, and I felt like throwing up. This was a side of him I never even knew existed. It was almost demonic. To make matters worse, I found emails. Countless emails showing that he hired multiple women over the years, if you know what I mean. He even had a few that he saw regularly and referred to them as his special friends. I felt so worthless reading these messages. Meanwhile, he's been gaslighting me, saying I was insecure and controlling whenever I got suspicious about his behavior. Turns out my intuition was right. Red flag, you better follow it. So, the floodgates of anger opened. This was no simple mistake. He's been living a carefully crafted double life for years, betraying me in every single way possible, and physical, emotional, you name it. I want to hurt him. To truly understand the damage that he's caused, I want to cause it to him. Which brings me to the advice of you guys about, revenge. As luck would have it, Jeremiah left this morning for a week-long work conference. While he was living it up, I'll be preparing to hit him where it hurts. I've already started enacting some petty revenge. This is just the start, though. Like blasting music at all hours and leaving every light in the house on, but I'm just getting warmed up. You can say it's a pre-workout ritual. So stay tuned for the next update where I will reveal what I've planned just to make him pay for his duplicity. Anyways, guys, I do want to say thank you again for the support. You guys do give me strength to carry this out. Update number 2. The Revenge. Thank you for sticking with me on this journey. Your encouragement has lifted my spirits more than you know. So, after discovering the extent of Jeremiah's lies and betrayals, I was out for revenge. As he enjoyed his work trip, oblivious to the reckoning awaiting him, I hatched a plan. First up, in business, his beloved smart home devices. Yeah, seems like a little thing, but listen, I meticulously reprogrammed over 100 of them. I'm talking lights flickering at all hours, blaring alarms in the dead of the night, thermostats plunging to near freezing. Oh, and his precious Japanese bidet now squirts ice-cold water. I took over his social media accounts and went to town. Posted the most insane ramblings about hating his job and tagging his boss. Signing him up for every embarrassing email list that I could find. Yep, expect pictures of feet and catheter kits incoming. Feeling spiteful, I turned on every tap in the house full blast, the water flowing hundreds of gallons. The sound of running water used to drive him insane. Well, now he can enjoy a waterfall soundtrack. I pictured the sewer bill skyrocketing and smiled. Oh yeah, My magnum opus was the yard sale. I priced his most prized retro video game collection worth over $50,000. I gave it away wholesale, $5 for the whole box. A kid walked away with such rare games that hardcore collectors would be cutting a limb for. The look on Jeremiah's face will be priceless. But amidst all this revenge, something shifted within me. With each act, I realized I didn't need to waste any more energy on Jeremiah. The relationship is no longer what defines me. So I stopped. I turned off the water tap, I stepped back to reflect, and I saw how strong I was. How resilient even. I value way more than what I think I do. I have value for beyond anything Jeremiah thought of me. I was more than ready to move on, to start fresh, to rediscover who I was. I didn't need to stoop to his level or wait for his return. You know what? The past is dead to me. So I packed my bags, called up a friend, and got ready to embrace whatever lays ahead. As I took one last look at the home we once shared, I shed a single tear. Not for what I lost, but for what I gained. Tomorrow, my new life begins. I'm off on an adventure on my own terms, unburdened by the chains of toxic relationships. I have all of you to thank for showing me my inner, bad aerie. When Jeremiah returns to absolute chaos, it'll put a footnote in my journey. I am the author of my story, and though the road ahead is uncertain, I could not be more excited to walk it with courage. Well, the story's not over there, guys. We do have one final update, and just when I thought that was going to be the final post, here comes OP to let us know what happened. This is it. This is the final update on my cheating ex Jeremiah. Yes, ex. Thank you for following my journey and helping me reclaim my strength. When Jeremiah returned home from his trip, he was greeted with utter chaos. Rambling social media posts to the astronomical utility bill. He knew somebody sabotaged his orderly life. At first, he thought it was a break-in even, and called the police in a panic. But when questioned, the officers quickly realized he was the perpetrator, thanks to my social media hijacking skills. So he immediately calls me on the phone, screaming about the damage I've done. I calmly told him that we're over, man. I wished him well and hung up on him as he dissolved into a sputtering shock. I felt nothing but peace. Jeremiah, oh boy, he showed up at my apartment hours later, pounding at the door, demanding I pay for his destroyed gaming collection and soaring bills. I didn't answer. His childish tantrum had no power over me. He told me, that video game collection that you gave away that I love so much and collected over the years. Inside that was a Mega Man X3 PSA 9.6 valued at over $15,000. I just let him yell right there at the door. I didn't answer. His childish tantrum had no power over me. Forget about Mega Man, you mega loser. In the following days, his life truly unraveled. His boss fired him over the unhinged social media post that was obviously crazy. The landlord evicted him when he couldn't pay the astronomical utilities. And guess what? He became a shell of the man I once loved. Oh, and me. I blossomed. I reconnected with friends. I hit the gym. I pursued hobbies I neglected, and I landed an amazing new job with a pay raise and found my very own cute little apartment, a studio. About a month later, I met Mark, Marky Mark, at the gym. We hit it off immediately and have been dating since. He's kind and thoughtful and makes me feel so loved and supported. And you know what? He doesn't have a stupid kid collection of video games. Looking back, I have no regrets. Jeremiah betrayed me in the worst possible way. My revenge helped me process the hurt and reclaim my power. And now I'm happier than ever, more happy than I've ever been. I want you all to know, you can get through anything. There is a life after heartbreak, and your value and worth is unconditional. Embrace each new day with joy. To anyone going through a tough time, take it one day at a time, surround yourself with support, and be gentle with yourself as you heal. Because you know what? The storm will pass. You all have been my rock in my hard place, and I could not have made this transition without you. Your stories in the comments have uplifted me. Thank you for the encouragement. Your advice changed my life. Now we're going to check out the final comment on the end of the update that got a lot of attention, and it's saying OP is the a-hole of the story. Let's see what they have to say. I'm sorry, but what you did with those games that he owned is completely unforgivable in my eyes. I mean, come on, that retro collection was worth a fortune. You gave it away for peanuts just to get back at your ex. Despicable. That's also fraud. As somebody who works at a retro game store, it makes me sick to think about what happened to those classics. A Mega Man sealed in a box copy graded 9.6 alone fetches $20,000 from the right collector. Who knows what other holy grails were in there? And you gave it to some random snotty-nosed kid? They probably ripped those pristine boxes right open, throwing out the manuals that are worth hundreds. I mean, those cartridges should have been preserved in a museum, not carelessly handled by a sticky kid finger. You stole, destroyed, piece of gaming history. Out of petty revenge? No matter how badly your ex behaved, this is more than that. Those games were not yours to do that with. I hope that he sues you or presses charges because you frankly belong in jail. Next time, be the bigger person, and don't take your hurt out on an innocent collectible that means the world to people like me. You absolutely went too far, and I can't condone your behavior one bit. Think before you act so callously. You should be ashamed.
Alright, don't get me wrong, guys. I'm all for a revenge or a petty revenge. But you know what? I'm going to have to admit, that last comment about the collectibles, I have to agree with that very wholeheartedly, simply because I love collecting collectibles as well. And yes, some can say, well, you know what? Maybe he shouldn't have been cheating on her, and his collectibles would have never gotten ruined. Well, I can't argue with that either. However, at the same time, what she did, honestly, it could have got her sent to jail. We're talking $50,000 worth of collectibles, and you can't even really put a monetary value on it because these are collectibles from 20, 30 years ago that you'll never see again once they get opened or ruined or just ripped to pieces by a 7-year-old who thinks that they're just a video game with no collectible value or anything. So I do understand that commenter's perspective, but at the same time, the guy shouldn't have been cheating, and his precious Mega Man X3 would never have been sold to a 7-year-old. Guys, I want to know what you think about today's story, so let's talk about it down below in the comments section. Once again, I do not believe she should have done anything to the collectibles, but at the same time, he should not have been a dirty, lying cheater. Alright guys, have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget to subscribe, and remember, it's cool to be kind. Peace.